These are the cores that originally came on this machine. If you look at the diameter of the cores, they're really small. About that wide. And because of that, I switched them out for cores that were thicker. You can see the difference there. So if I measure these ones and put them on here, that's how much bigger they are than these ones. These cores, here's a armature bar, normal armature bar. They're not even as wide as the armature bar here. They worked okay, but I still wanted to switch out the coils because of that, so that it would work better. The more surface area you have, the better it is, and it's going to have more pull on your armature bar, so you don't have to turn up the voltage. You'll get more pull, so you need less voltage. Now, one of the tricks that they do, because all of these cores, you can get a bigger core, one that has a fatter head on it here, fatter top, but all of these cores are hollow in the middle, and they usually come with these teeny screws, and when you screw them in, you see this screw will only go about halfway up this core. So you have another half a core that's just empty space in there. So what people like to do, and what I've tried and what I've seen people do, is they get some steel wool and you just pack it down inside of this core until you fill up that empty space. You actually stick this in there and then cram it down into the back, and you pack it in there. And you would just keep doing this on this to about the halfway mark, because that's as far as the screw went. And that would give you more material in there, so when the electricity is turned on, it would make this more magnetic, give you more of a pull. More material, more pull you'll have. What I don't like about doing this is the steel wool, there's a lot of surface area. There's probably more metal in this screw than there is right here in this steel wool. But you can see the steel wool takes up more space, it's been spread out. And what happens is, if this is just the steel wool that you can use to clean your sink, clean dishes and other things. If you get this wet one time and leave it on your sink and come back, that's going to be covered in rust, because it has so much surface area that it's going to oxidize really quick. This screw only has this little surface area around it, so it'll take longer for this to rust than it will for this. So you can sit here and cram all this steel wool in here, and then put your screw in. But what I prefer to do is, this is a screw that came with it, I just put a longer screw in there. If I pack this full of steel wool, as on this machine, and then I decide to take it off and put it on another machine, but the frame is different thickness, then, and I need a different size screw, then I have to find a different size screw that will go in there. The screw that works on this one might not work on the next machine I put these on. So, and you see how tiny that is, and I just packed it all in there. You know, I'm going to have a hell of a time pulling it out. So what I prefer to do, I mean, if you're just going to put that on that machine, and you know you're going to leave that on there until these coils burn out, and you're just going to throw the machine away, then fine, you know, that's good. But get a longer screw. This is what I prefer to do. Make sure it's magnetic. You know, the same material as the screw that it came with, or if you can get the same material as these cores. And then put that longer screw in there, and you'll see that screw will take up that whole empty space in there, and it'll fit in nice and tight, and you know, you won't have rust issues and other problems. And if you switch it out, you just take the screw with it, and you know, you don't have to dig out a whole bunch of stuff in there. Now if your screw is the wrong size, you can always cut it down. What you do is screw your screw into the core and your frame, and however much is sticking out is how much you want to cut off of this end, and then put it back in there. And you can just use a cutting wheel with a Dremel tool for that. Sometimes if you cut the tip of the screw off, it'll mess the threads up and it won't want to go in. But if you just file down one of the corners of the screw, it'll thread back in there. And that way, you know, you can see there's air in between this, and when you pack it into here, you're going to have the same thing. So you probably get a lot more material in there by just putting a screw in there than trying to pack it full of steel wool. So same thing with your armature bar here. You know, the more surface area on here, the more pull you get. So you want a lot of surface area here too, so you'll also get more pull on the armature bar. And a lot of times you get these screws that are real short. By the time you get a washer, your two springs on there and screw it in, you see it doesn't come out to the end of the armature bar. So what you can do is get a longer screw and just measure it out again and see how much you need to cut off, if you need to cut anything off. Or if you want it heavier, you could get a longer screw and put a little nut on it, you know, or a washer or something, whatever you got to do to adjust it so that when it's all the way screwed in, it's flush right here. So instead of having it flat and then a little hole, it's metal all the way across, flush. You know, that might be a tiny little thing, but these tiny little adjustments sometimes is what, you know, you make a little adjustment on this, make a little adjustment on that, and you add them all up, and the big picture, it will cut down your voltage and make your machine run smoother. So find a screw that'll go flat against here with your washer and your 2 springs on that also. Just a little side note to throw in this video here, since it's not that long. If you have your metal screw here for your contact screw to hold it in position, and this is metal, and you usually throw a little plastic bead in here, or you can switch this out for a plastic screw. But if you don't have any of those, you can just take a O-ring here and just lop a little piece off, drop it in there, and voila, there you go. That'll hold that nice and snug, and it'll keep it from messing up your contact screw. Nick Durant here with Tattoo University, and today I'm going to share an experience that I'm having right now with you guys. And that experience is fixing the clutch in my wife's car. And how this relates to tuning tattoo equipment or fixing tattoo machines. So I'm not a big fan of working on vehicles. You can see I've busted my knuckles several times working on this one, and it's not good to have all these cuts and things on your hands when you're tattooing. You know, that can lead to potential problems. So I would prefer to work on tattoo machines instead of cars. And tattoo machine tuning isn't for everyone. You have to have some kind of mechanical skills to do it. If you're one of those kids, when I was younger, they had the box with all the shapes cut out of it, and they had the little cubes. If you were one of those little kids who had the square cube and you were trying to shove it in the round hole, you might not be cut out for tattoo machine tuning. You have to have some kind of mechanical know-how. I don't encourage people to give up, but I also encourage people to be honest with themselves. If you do not have any mechanical abilities or skills, you might want to not tune tattoo machines. It's probably better for you to buy a machine that somebody has already tuned, or take a machine to somebody who knows what they're doing and have them tune it. Or you buy rotary machines. You're gonna have a hard time, and not everybody's gonna get it. So I understand some of those people who just don't bother with it. But for those of you who want to learn, I'm gonna do a lot of videos help you guys out and kind of point you in the right direction. So, not being a mechanic, but I do have skills when it comes to fixing things. You know, I welded, I've worked construction, I've fixed vehicles before, even though I don't enjoy doing it. I still have some mechanical skills, but I don't know how to change the clutch in my wife's car. So I depend on the internet, YouTube videos, and the manual to learn what to do in this case. The same thing applies for tattoo machine tuning. And there are some manuals out there that will help you out. The closest thing I think you're going to get to a manual about tattoo machines is Machine Gun Magazine. This was a magazine that Icon put out a long time ago, and you can still find it on the internet. And I highly suggest, if you are getting into tattooing and tattoo machine tuning, that you find these. I'll put a link so that you can find these and read them. And they will cover a lot of subjects that will help you out. This is talking about the machine frame, the different types of frames. A lot of good information in here when it comes to tattoo machines. Basic wiring of a tattoo machine. Here is your manual for learning how to fix tattoo machines. In the manual for the car, there is a troubleshooting section that will help you figure out what exactly is wrong with your car. Now, I haven't seen anything like that for tattoo machines, and I plan on making something like that because I get a lot of questions. I see a lot of problems with people, and they don't know what is wrong with their tattoo machine, and they don't know how to figure that out. So I'm going to work on that, or I'm going to put that out there to you guys, or maybe someone might want to make something like that. You can watch the videos. I have several troubleshooting videos on tattoo machines. I'll make some more. If you guys beat me to it and you make a book and you make some money off of it, good for you. But somebody should work on that. Troubleshooting for tattoo machines. Putting that out there into the tattoo / internet universe. Maybe we need something like that. Some of the things I focus on with this channel are things that I don't see, things that I feel are needed, and that's one of those things. We really need a troubleshooting manual for tattoo machines. So I really want to teach you guys some good habits and encourage you guys to do things correctly. Now, one of the things that happens is a lot of you guys want a quick fix. Sometimes that's not going to help you guys out. I want to teach you guys how to fish. I don't want to just give you a fish and give you a free meal, and then you got to keep coming back asking for free meals all the time. I want to teach you guys the proper way to figure things out for yourself. That's what the videos are for. You have to do a little bit of research on your own. You know, just like I have to go to the car manual to figure out how to fix the clutch, you're going to have to go to the tattoo machine manuals to figure out how to fix your tattoo machines. There's thousands of you guys out there who subscribe to the channel and who are trying to learn. And there's only one of me. So it's never going to work out to where I can answer all of your questions personally by you guys emailing me and me emailing you back. It's not going to happen. Trust me, I've been doing this for a little over a year now with the videos, and it's not going to happen. So what I need to put in place is something where you guys can get the information yourself. And what I've done is Tattoo University on Facebook, because there's hundreds of you guys on that, and you guys can help answer each other's questions. Another thing I'm going to encourage you guys to do is to go to Facebook and participate in the conversations. If someone asks a question on this channel, don't wait for me to answer it. If you think you have the answer, post it, make a comment. I'm encouraging you guys to comment on my channel. Answer people's questions if you think you have the answer. I'm going to encourage tattoo artists and people who make machines and sell machines to post on this site and post in Facebook to help answer those questions. You guys have several outlets now where you can get help to answer your questions. You don't have to wait for me to answer your questions. You can put them out there and get answers from the community. This is a community channel. This isn't all about me. I work with other tattoo artists. I talk to other tattoo artists. You need to do the same thing. I go on chats. I try to figure things out. I learn something. Another tattoo artist learns something. We get together and we both improve. You can't just be the lone wolf. You can't be by yourself if you're a tattoo artist. You need to communicate with other tattoo artists. You need to reach out. You need to go to shops. You need to do all of that. Here's the problem. Some of you guys are holed up in your house and you're afraid to get out there. You're afraid to talk to people. That's not going to get you anywhere. The way you're going to improve, the people I see who improve the most are the ones who reach out and do what they need to do, and they talk to other tattoo artists and they put themselves out there.